What's up, everybody? Big Blue Power Hour. What's up, Evan? What's going on, man?
Not much, brother. Not much, man. Uh, Sorry to miss you guys last week. I was unfortunately sick as a dog. We tried to get you Sunday morning, but we didn't want to ruin your Sundays. Let you go watch football and we catch you up on this week. But man, two tough losses, two tough showings.
Yep.
Um, I'm not happy with either one. I'm really not happy with this defense.
Oh,
But we'll get
definitely
into that.
not.
How you doing, Dan?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Another 0-2 start to the season. So, I think it's a tale of two different,
Already.
yeah, already, right? This is like where you expect, maybe the Vikings, you know, you don't know what they're going to be. Maybe you have an opportunity to beat them, and your offense just sputters the whole game. And the defense, I don't like the defensive showing so far. I will say that the week two, the offense was a little better, but our Gano getting hurt killed us in the game, and the defense was in between the 20s was soft. Especially in the run game, they got run all over last week. So I think that week one, their offense was abysmal. The one thing's for sure, Neighbors is legit. I think Neighbors has played really well. I think he had a really
Yeah.
good game last game. He had a really bad drop though. So, but that's going to happen. I really like the way Phillips is playing so far. The offensive
Yes,
line,
I
I
was just about
think,
to say that.
yeah. But Phillips, I'm impressed with his on an individual basis. Neighbors, I'm impressed with. I think that the play calling has been here or there. I thought it was a little better last game. Um, but obviously everyone's talking about Daniel Jones. Obviously, he had a horrible game week one. I thought he was better week two. Uh, I don't know if it's a lot of
Yeah,
people
but
think
you
he's
can't be
done.
much better than your first shit show.
Yeah, so I think he still needs to be better. I think that I don't know what if it's a mental thing with him. If he's just like he's afraid to pull the trigger. That's what it seemed week one. He seemed to be a little more willing to pull the trigger week two. Um, but that's not really how you wanted to start the season. But
So starting with week one, the Vikings game. Once again, momentum just sucked away from them, and they never got it back early in the game to the point where Drew Phillips, like, you had no offense. And I put it all on Danny Dimes in that game. He was
he had a
so
bad
reluctant.
game.
He did not look comfortable in the pocket.
No,
He looked horrible.
he ran into some
They let
sacks. I thought.
Darnold. That defense let Darnold go. They let Darnold go like 12 for 12,
They were
like
playing very
three
soft
perfect
coverage.
drives.
Yep,
And
no pressure.
it's horrible, dude. And like that front seven is supposed to be our saving grace, and they're getting no pressure. They are
Yeah,
getting
it's a
beat
problem.
every fucking time.
Yeah,
And the thing is, the only person I'm seeing do anything on that line is Dexter Lawrence. He is
well,
the heart
Dexter
and soul of
Lawrence
that
been good.
defense.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Brian Burns, I'm not happy with his production. Kayvon Thibodeau is a fucking bust. At this point, he is a bust. Most of his sacks are against lower end teams where he gets two or three a game, and then he disappears for 5 games.
yeah, yeah. I think that I
So
think that.
at this point, uh,
Okay. Yeah, like I get what you're saying. The defense has been kind of soft. I kind of don't like the soft coverage they're playing. Like they seem to be giving even versus Washington a lot of cushion. Like they left Jefferson 1-on-1 with Bexano support on the inside on that one touchdown they scored. I just thought that the defense is not what you wanted to see. You wanted to see pressure. If you let Darnold sit back there, he's gonna kill you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think Dexter Lawrence is fine.
the only thing
I,
I can say about with the loss to the Minnesota is that Minnesota's not as bad as we thought they were going to be. Kind
no,
of
I
like how
think
the Saints are
Minnesota's
a lot better
better.
than we thought they were going to be.
Flores had you gotta give Flores credit. He
So
had that team ready. Flores had that defense ready. Their defense played well. That like that guy Van Ginkel is good for them. He had the pick 6 against us. And he knew what play it was. That's why he was able to do that. I think that was a bang play. And that hurt us and just not having any offense. And I thought the defense played better in the second half than the first in week 1. But your offense just was nowhere near where it had to be at all. Like, not even close. Old line's good, though.
Your weekly game plan is failing when you have to make such an adjustment in the second half, and you still don't give yourself time to come back.
Yeah.
They're digging themselves in a hole where they're not coming out of. And to touch on that first week, like, they didn't look in sync. I'm like, how do you go
Definitely
against
not.
3 teams? How do you go against, 2 live scrimmage teams for 3 weeks, and you look so unprepared? Like this is what pisses me off. I'm like, this is what you guys do every fucking day. Like, there has to be some repetition. You can't be looking this bad.
Yeah,
and I've been the biggest Danny Dimes defender here. He didn't have a line. This whole last 2 weeks, he's had somewhat of a decent line. The Giants are ranking in the top 20 for offensive line for pass rush.
They're much better in offensive line, especially run blocking. But their
You
offensive
have a lot
line
more
has been
time,
there.
and you're running scared. He's running scared. He doesn't look comfortable. He's over, I think 7 for deep throws. He has not landed one over 15 yards.
At least he tried some deep throws last game. He didn't really try any the first game. Yeah, I'd rather see him at least try. I know.
Jalen Hyatt is not seeing, Hyatt's not seeing the field. Hyatt's not seeing the field. I'm not seeing much of Wan'Dale Robinson besides the touchdown. Singletary, he is doing pretty well. I'm glad to see production is still up from him.
He's averaging 5.1 yards a carry so far, so he's doing fine.
I'm not seeing a lot of Bellinger. I'm not seeing a lot of Theo Johnson. I don't know if Daboll doesn't have trusting these guys. So these guys are
part of it.
People.
Could be part of it. Like they seemed a little more in sync week 2. I'll say that. Week 1 they didn't look in sync at all.
I'll say this. Even though Gillian's a punter, the fact that he did not take one fucking snap on the sideline to even try to kick a field goal pissed me off.
Yeah,
because special teams
probably cost us that game.
Teams.
Yeah, of course. And the fact we don't have a backup kicker or anyone else that can kick, or a punter that can kick. Some teams have it.
You're telling me Graham Gano cannot go to the sideline with Gillian, but hey, listen, I'm fucked up right now. But hey, I can show you something to where you can make an extra point.
Maybe.
What's up, Eileen? Congratulations to your Jets. I think finally you're in second place at least.
Yeah, they're better than we are. But
listen, there's a full moon every once in a while.
But that's one thing one of the most positive things about week 1 is their offensive line. And I think for Jones, the tentativeness, the not pulling the trigger, not being comfortable is a mental and confidence thing. I think I don't think he had any confidence in week 1 at all. It's not an excuse.
We don't have 6 weeks to get his confidence up.
I know that. So
I know that's where this. I know we know this.
But that's what it's about. I don't think it's a physical thing.
6 weeks to fucking build his confidence up. Dog, you got paid $160 million. That's your confidence booster.
You have to explain.
I wish I was the guy in the locker room. I don't care if I was the lowest guy or the toughest guy. I would sit down and get in his face in front of the entire fucking room. I'm like, you're supposed to be our fucking leader. Walk out there with some fucking balls. Grab your fucking nutsack. Do something. You are a fucking man. Go out and fucking prove it. Dude, light that fucking fire under his ass. He has no fire under his ass. He's walking around fucking mopey all day. And nobody's got the balls to say something to him. Fucking get under, boost your teammates up. fuck, like light that fire under your teammate. Make him go out there and play pissed off. Sometimes playing pissed off is better than playing unmotivated.
Well, let's hope they do this. This week they're definitely going to have to. But week 1 was an awful performance, for sure. Yeah, I don't think and unfortunately you don't play well. You don't play well enough. You don't play consistent. You're not going to win, and that's what week 1 was. Just not a good performance from the offense or the defense in the first half. Definitely
Anybody
not.
can say, "Hey, we should be 1-2 or 1-1." We should be. We're 0-2.
Maybe.
And the worst thing happened to Dallas. Dallas got their ass whooped. They're going to play a team like us that's lower tier. This is going to be something you want to shut off by halftime. I do not have confidence in this game. I don't. They're going to want to send a message to the rest of the league, hey, last week was a fucking fluke, and we got beat by a fluke. And they're going to drop fucking 40, 50 on us again. They're going to run the score up. 1, being a division rival. 2, because they can.
Maybe.
The only thing I can say is this is probably the weakest O-line we're going to play so far this season. So maybe we get a spark and we can close it down. They had a little bit of trouble with the running game last week.
Yeah, they have a good defense.
I don't mean to bounce all over the place. I know we're going about. Like, thinking about it though, like this is how you got to beat Dallas. Give what they give you. Those back end safeties are fucking horrible. So make sure you make the best matches you can. And we have an Alvin Kamara type with Tyrone Tracy. He can get out in the backfield. He can also run from the backfield.
Yeah.
So I really want to see more of that. But we got to see what we can do.
Alex says, we're the kings of MetLife right now. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Jersey Jets.
And then she said, what's your quick fix to fixing the Giants if there is one? I know what you're going to say.
A quarterback. I'm sorry. You give us somebody who's more competent, who knows how to play and doesn't get rattled. Like, fuck, we got like a Donovan McNabb in there, man. Like, he gets rattled and the game's over. Like, you rattle him, fucking, he don't know what to do. He's sitting there with the derp look. And this kid went to Duke. Duke's a hard university to get into. And I get it. Dude, when you're smacked 60 times in 4 games, fuck, you're expecting it at this point. Like, he's sitting back there like, shit, I got 3 seconds to make a throw. Where the fuck am I going to go? I don't know. I never lasted this long.
Yeah, my quick fix, I don't know. I would say better play calling is one for sure, especially on defense. Like, I don't like the way how soft the defense is playing. They should give up play calling. I'll give them a couple more games. I thought the first game was The second game I thought was a little better.
Like, hire me. Let me bring my fucking NCAA playbook. We'll be scoring all the time.
Yeah, but I said I do like. I thought the offense was a little better in the second game. But not having a kicker killed us.
The offense was more competent, but is that because we played lesser competition?
Not necessarily. They ran the ball. They ran the ball well versus the Redskins. The Giants did. I thought they ran well. I thought.
But it's Washington.
On the inside, they ran well, and they're good on the inside. So it is Washington, but they ran well versus Minnesota when they chose to run. It's just they were behind the game, so
the sad part is, there was a lot of drops, and that's what pissed me off. Neighbors, he's a rookie, he makes a mistake, but that 2-point conversion was in his hands, not his hands, but in the hands of the receiver. If we get that plus that extra kick, it's a tie game.
Yeah, I think the Giants missed a field goal too in the game. Also,
like it's just shooting yourself in the fucking foot.
Yeah, and like I thought it seems like Jones and Neighbors are getting a little more in sync the second game, but he also had that drop on the sideline on the 4th down. the fourth down play. Neighbor last game.
And I'm not gonna lie, Jones, his ball does not look as tight as it used to be. It's kind of got like this down roll, like spiral, like it's going down. Like even if
Yeah, I
you
know
like
what
where
you're
his
saying.
release is, it doesn't look right going through the air. So when you're
I'd say it
catching it,
depends on the throw. Yeah,
instead of catching it level, you're catching it like this. Which
true, but
it's causing a lot of drop. The
it
angle
hit
which it's coming in at
it hit
is
Neighbors in
weird.
the hands that pass. Like I said, there's anything wrong with the pass he dropped on the fourth down, but
The
Neighbors is
fourth
good.
down one, no, that's a rookie mistake.
Happens.
Call it
Unfortunately, we
jitters.
got
He
a
had a
kicker.
good game,
He did.
but
He did.
what's worrying me is the locker room after that loss. That locker room is not responding well to that loss.
They're pissed. They're not happy. They're pissed off. Let's hope it motivates them.
Yes, and listen,
You know,
let this be a fucking turnaround. Let them get their shit together and let them be pissed off. Dude, I want to see dogs this year. I want to see I want to see them so pissed off and hungry. Like this is all I want from the team. Want that hunger back. I want that, you go out there. If you lose 31-28, but guess what? That quarterback was on his ass most of the game. He pulled out a fucking miracle. Like have that dog in you to where you go out and play. Now everybody want to be flashy, want to be, they don't have that heart no more. They go out and it's a job to them. No, like I don't know, man. I guess it's different from when I played. When I played, it was you went out there to dominate. Like you had to leave your mark
that's what
on
you're
that
supposed
team.
to do.
Like it's not like that no more though. Like I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave an impact on that team. I want that team like I don't want to play that fucker ever again. And there's no fear no more playing defenses. There's no fear playing offenses. Like that. Like you used to puzzle yourself how you're going to stop this offense. You're going to figure out, you used to, fear that defense coming from anybody who had a great defense.
Yeah.
You don't think people going into the 2000 Ravens were like, we got a versus defense? Oh, it's going to be a long ass game. Like, you have to bring that fear back because if there's not a fear there, that edge is gone for defenses.
Yeah, but
and right now we're trying to rebuild a defense. We don't have any advantages. Take every advantage you can. You got some scary motherfuckers on that defense. Let them go. Let them go.
Put them in the right position with the right calls. That's probably one of the things I haven't really liked is Bowen's defense so far. Just how he calls a game. He's not very aggressive. He's a lot of soft coverage, a lot of zone, a lot of giving like too much cushion. Like especially the Washington game, they were giving 7-8 yards of cushion on like a lot of plays. Like, and when you got a guy like Banks and Phillips, I don't want to be playing a lot of zone. I want to be playing more man physical defense rather than a zone and giving all that cushion. And the pass rush just isn't there. In the middle, it is. On some plays it is, but it's not there like you want it to be, like you need it to be.
The three players I'm liking on the defense right now, besides Adoree Jackson, I thought Adoree Jackson, for the small time he was in there, he actually played really well. His tackles were there. It seemed like he got back to his Tennessee route with Bowen. I thought he was really well played there. It was for the short amount of time. He'll just get better as he's more in the system. Dex, your guy Drew Phillips, he's been
Drew Phillips, I think, has been really solid.
Such a good play recognition guy.
Physical.
He sees where that ball's going at all times.
And then Tyler Newbin.
Tyler Newbin has been playing. Deontay Banks too. Deontay Banks, they've been playing very well against the top receivers of the teams that we've played so far. They've done very well. It's just we're getting eaten up in the middle. I have not heard anything from Bobby Okereke this year. Like nothing special from.
Been playing well. Pennock been playing well. I think Okereke typically plays well. But you need more from Thibodeau and you need more from Burns. I just feel that Bowen's defense kind of soft. That's kind of what I know is the defense is soft. Gets pushed around. They kind of get because they got manhandled in the run game versus Washington. Same thing. So, they just get outworked up front, and that's not a. I don't think that's a good sign. Their red zone defense, I think, is good, but between the 20s, it wasn't very good last week.
And the thing is, though, like, I want to say this: the NFC East is up for grabs. If they get a hold of themselves, they still have a possibility to win this division. They have
They
the
got to win
talent.
Sunday.
They do. Dallas is not looking as well as they usually do. I said it before. The Eagles have the talent. They just don't seem to play well. Like, they're just
I think they have a
they're
ton
missing
of
pieces.
talent.
They think they can plug in and play, and it's not the same thing.
I think their offense is really good.
Washington's still very young, so we don't know what they are.
I do think Daniel's going to be good, though. He's tough. He's tough to deal with.
He
when
looks
he
a
run
lot
around.
like what Anthony Richardson was doing last year. He's a little too happy to tuck and run, and when you're out by week 4 or 5 with that, because you got hit too hard, and you're out for the rest of the season, like it's not going to come to fruition until he's concussed, and then they're going to pull him back, and then you got to see like, hey, how good is he? I think he's better than Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson is a little bit more raw. But their play styles are identical. If you watch them side by side, if the first 2 reads are not open, they're darting.
Yeah, that's an experience thing, I think. But the Robinson is good. The running back they have is pretty good. But I thought that the defense got pushed around. But I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's talented. I think he's going to be good. He'll have his rookie things, but you were looking at the calendar and you were thinking, typically they play well versus Washington. You circle that as a win, and not having Gano just killed them. Yeah, it sucks when you score score 3 touchdowns, you give up no touchdowns, and you lose.
I think the point of the matter was that that loss is on Daboll. I'm sorry, it is. Like, that loss is on you. You went into the game not even having your punter. Like, if you want to have Gano go in there, fine, but have your goddamn punter take kicks throughout the week just in case something happens.
Yeah, I wonder what most teams
you don't have if you didn't want to fill
plan is when that happens.
If you did not want to fill, if you didn't want to take the roster spot and put them on IR or whatever it is, fine, whatever. I get that. You have a punter, somebody who can kick, who has the power to kick. Put him on a fucking tee for a week. Show him how to get the signals down. All he's got to do is kick from 30 yards and under.
Yeah, I wonder what most
teams
That's
all you have to do. But no, what'd you do? You wanted Gano to go out there even though he was hurt, and it bit you in your ass. It bit him in his ass because he had no way. We had to score touchdowns. We had to. There was no way to fucking win besides scoring a touchdown.
They did score touchdowns. That's the thing. They scored 3 of them.
But when the defense knows you can't kick from there and still win,
oh, I know,
they're going to play back, and that's what they did the whole last quarter.
That's a tough situation to be in. I'm going to say it's Shane also. It's a roster thing. But I do wonder what most teams, they lose their kicker. A lot of them have a punter that can kick. Unfortunately, the offense, if they just could have been a little bit better, maybe you get a win. But if you had a kicker, you're going to get a win also. Like I said, I thought the offense at least drove down the field, 3 times and got touchdowns instead of field goals. I thought the red zone defense was good.
I'm not excited about the offense. It is Washington.
No.
It is Washington.
Of course not.
Like, if this is like this week, if they show me like, hey, shit, Daniel Jones can throw for more than 200 yards. He did not have all right. And there's nothing too. He did not have a good game. He had an average.
He didn't have a horrible
game. He threw for 170 yards. He just didn't kill himself.
He didn't have a prolific game.
So get out of his head that he had a good game. Good game is throwing for 250, 300 with a touchdown or 2 with no interceptions. That's a good game. He didn't even have a great game. He had a mediocre game. He just didn't kill himself.
I wouldn't say that. I would say he was not bad. That's what I would say. That's not mediocre is week 1.
We cannot win with average. I'm sorry, we can't. Like, I've stuck up for the guy before. We need that Danny Dimes that was in Minnesota 2 years ago. 3-4 touchdowns, didn't kill himself 300 yards.
Yeah, but he
that's
played
what it
games
takes to win in this
like
league.
he played games like this in 2022, just like this. I don't expect great from him. I don't expect prolific from Jones. I expect driving down the field, scoring touchdowns, and not turning the ball over. If you could do that, that's better than nothing. But I get what you're saying about Jones. You
Same
don't
as nothing.
expect great from him. So I know.
With the defense being the way it is, you need greatness from Jones. Somebody's got to step the fuck up.
Better. I know.
Like,
But you're not gonna get 30
need...
points a game from them. You need 21 or more points a game at least to be competitive. Yeah, it just sucks to be 0-2 then. No, it's not. Nope.
Hey, listen, there's some good teams that are bad or still 0-2. You got the Ravens, they're 0-2. You know, Tennessee, they're 0-2.
Yeah.
You know, some good teams.
Hello, Judgment. Are we waiting for Shedeur Sanders next year? Dallas is 9-8 team this year.
Man, I might skip next year for sure. Cause listen, Deion's not gonna let him come to New York. I'm telling you that now. They will pull an Eli and be like, "We don't want them playing for him." He's gonna pull that shit. He already named the 5 teams he wants his son to go to. One of them being Baltimore. They just signed Lamar. The Chiefs, they're not getting rid of Patrick Mahomes. Eagles, possibility because Jalen Hurts is trash. And what was the other one? Like, there was another team. Like, he wants the top 5 teams, top 10 or top 6 teams in the league to put his, pay his son. They just, Dallas, and they just paid Dak. Like, none of those teams are gonna pick him, so he's gonna big a big ass fuss when his son's got to go to Carolina next year. He's not gonna so they're gonna either pick Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck's gonna be off of it. His son's gonna be the third one off the board, if that, in the late round. And then if the Giants do pick him, it's going to be a fucking head case because he's going to be here the entire time. So the Giants do have a number 1 pick next year, or a top 5, top 10 pick next year. I wouldn't mind them getting Travis Hunter because they're going to be in the market to get him.
Yeah.
Or in the conversation to get him if they keep continuing the way they are. I would not be surprised if Shedeur Sanders falls to the second round.
I don't expect them to be top 10.
And if you don't get anybody this year, guess what? Arch Manning will be ready by the next season or the next draft. You tank that season. Just tell everybody, like, listen, we're going to be the number 1 pick. We're going to have Arch Manning. And listen, the Manning saga continues. Give him number 10. I can dust off my Eli jersey, and I don't have to go out and buy a new one. It's all good.
We'll just start a non-quarterback at quarterback, and you're guaranteed to lose every game.
Exactly. Just punt the ball every first down.
Put Evan Neal back there.
Throw in the mercy rule by halftime. We quit.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to.
Evan Neal has had he's one of the best offensive linemen in the league right now because he has not played.
Yeah, that's the one thing where I could say we're pleased with. I think
huge improvement this year.
They're close to figuring out that the offensive line is much better. Gives Jones a pocket. If he doesn't panic, he'll be okay. But if he panics, he'll be screwed. At least they have a pocket. At least they could run block. At least they could, be functional as an offensive line. So they have a big test on.
They can run block for like.
What?
All I know is, I don't think we're gonna beat the Cowboys. My final prediction for that game, I don't even know. I think they drop 40 on us because CD we can't cover for shit. Their offense,
be much better.
I don't see it.
Much better if they're gonna have any shot in that game. Now, let's not try to have a field goal blocked on the first.
I'm just like, what scares me is that if we do win, I think Paul Spencer might have a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, that's a game
I
you
am worried
expect Dallas
about
to win.
his safety. I'm worried about Jerry Jones' safety if they lose to the Giants.
It's definitely a game you expect the Cowboys to win,
Because
I would say.
if anybody don't know, new to the show, I am living in Louisiana. So I live on 20 minutes away from the Texas border in Bossier City next to Shreveport. This is Cowboys Saints territory. It is the last Sunday. It was literally half people walking around with flags. The other one was wearing the who dat stuff. It was the Super Bowl down here for them, and I never seen Cowboys fans so depressed going home in my life. So if they lose to the Giants this week, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, so, well, it's not this week.
Dan?
It's the week after. Got the Browns first.
Yes, the Browns. The Browns coming up.
That's pretty funny.
I'm thinking the defense is going to hold up. The defense holds up. We have nothing to worry about. I think we're able to go head to head with their defense. Oh,
Their defense
against our
is
offense. I say we score. Their defense is good, but their offense, they run into the same problem. Their offense can't move the ball.
Well, Jones has more yards and touchdowns than Watson. So, by
My
one.
point. So,
Yeah, their offense has not been very good
but I
throughout
think,
the first couple weeks.
one trade I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Amari Cooper. I think he might be tired over there. But I'm a huge fan of Amari Cooper. I hated him on the Cowboys. But I think he's a stud. But, for that, like you said, that game, it's in Cleveland, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's in Cleveland. Yeah, so I would say it's we have a good chance to win it. So finally get points on the board.
The matchup.
We'll get one.
Yeah, their ends versus our tackles. That's a big matchup in the game because their pass rush is good. Like their defense is legit. That's probably the biggest concern I have is their defense and the Giants being able to be successful on offense. So I think they at least need
But their
21, 24
linebacking
points to win
core,
the game. Who's
they got to get
Cleveland?
out early and start it. They have to be up. They have to be 14-10, 14-7, 14-3 at halftime. They got to come out and score early because those second-hand adjustments, the Browns are really good second-hand. So I believe they're gonna come out. Their second half adjustments are very good. I think they're regretting not getting rid of Baker about now, but you get Deshaun Watson moving. He doesn't have that arm on the run anymore.
You could rattle him too. I think that if you
I
can get
guess
pressure on him,
frustrate him.
frustrate him, cause some turnovers, obviously score off those turnovers. You look for the Giants front to have a solid game versus the Browns offensive line. Njoku was out this game. They're tight end. So they're going to be depending on the wide receiving core. Yep, and they have a good run game too. Like that's the thing about about them. They're I think that if you get pressure on Watson, cause some turnovers, that's going to be a key. But I hope they don't play as soft as they've been, like soft coverage. I want them to play a better game offensively because they've been playing some soft coverage.
Yeah, and it's getting them killed. It's getting them killed. Like they're playing off the ball too much. They're playing off the guy too much. Over the middle, they're getting killed, and they're getting killed on comeback routes. You're giving them 10 yards. Like you're playing 10 yards off the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And it allows them more flexibility to be able to convert. That's what they did versus Washington. For whatever reason, Bowen was playing very soft coverage.
Now their red zone defense is pretty good. They played better in the second half of the first game. I don't know where they're ranked at though. That's the
I don't
problem.
know. I really look to really pay attention to that. It's more of like an eye test for me. But I just know
Yes,
that run defense wise, they got pushed around. And that's that's
but that was also a
concerns
problem
me.
that we knew coming into the season that we were going to have was the run defense. They really didn't fill that hole, especially trading away some pieces of the defensive tackles.
Yeah.
I want to see more of Chapman. I haven't seen him in much play. I know he's behind Dex, but I want to see more 4-3 instead of 3-4. I want to see Isaiah Simmons in there a little bit more. Just get more pressure. Like, do what you have to do. When you have that good of a defensive secondary, which I believe in those guys. You got to give them the reins to pass or fail on their own. You can't protect them much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think their defense can play well, but it's all going to depend on how their offense plays. Their offensive production, they're going to have to solve that kicker issue.
I think they brought somebody up.
Yeah, they have no choice. You can't go into a game with no kicker like that. And you hope at least whoever they pick is competent. But I think that I'm looking for the offense to try to play a solid game versus a good defense. I think that's what you would like to see. I know some people don't think that's going to happen because they're totally out on Jones, which I totally understand. I totally get it. Like just you, like I say, like you're like, oh, whatever, it's over, that's it. Time to move on, which I fully totally understand. I guess I like to just be an optimist, and I want to see if they could play a little bit better than they did last week. See if they could just build upon the chemistry with Neighbors is something I like to keep working on because it seems like him and Neighbors have a good rapport so far because Neighbors has been the real deal.
If he starts 0-3, does he get benched?
Well, how are you going to lose this game? Is he going to play miserable, or are you going to lose a close game?
As the second game?
No, I don't think they bench him. I think he would have to play like he did in the first game.
Because if he has Phillips, or do you go to DeVito? I'm sorry, Locke or Phillips?
I think they would go to Locke first.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
I think they would go to Locke first. But I think Joe's got to play worse than week 1 for them to bench him. And it depends on how they lose the game. Like, is he going to have 250 yards, a couple of touchdowns, which isn't bad? Or is he going to have no touchdowns and like 3 picks? Do you know what I'm saying? I think it depends. If the offense is able to move the ball and score 21, 24 points, I don't see why you'd bench Jones.
All right, so with the benching of Bryce Young, there's been a lot of talks about maybe them moving off of him.
I've heard about Giants trading for him. I read something about that, just some hypothetical trade someone brought up.
Heisman guy. He's a Heisman winner. Is he a Heisman winner? He's a Heisman.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a Heisman winner. Comes from Alabama last year of Saban. Do you take a chance on him? Give a third round, second round, whatever you can get. Let him sit behind Jones for a year, and then let Daboll work his magic, and maybe we have another Jordan Love situation where him sitting instead of immediately starting makes you is beneficial for him.
If the Giants felt it was worth it, and they did get the right offer, I don't see why not. But would Shane do that? I don't know what they think of him, as a quarterback.
Last year he showed glimpses. This year, same problem Jones has. He has no time, and he's rushing everything like he's trying to make something happen out of nothing. Instead of taking a sack and looking bad, he's just.
Well, that's the thing about last week was instead of taking the sacks like he was running into week 1, he would throw the ball away instead and not turn the ball over. He had a couple of decisions like that in the last game that were good decisions. So that's why I said that's what you just noticed. He played a little bit better. At least he took a couple shots downfield. I did think he had some nice plays and some not good plays. He had some good throws, and then, but I don't think it was like we won. Week 1 was miserable. Like week 1, and he did miss a couple of throws versus Washington, but I still think his confidence is like to be honest.
I think
I
with
don't
us
think
having a good rapport with Carolina, you package, you package him and J.C. Horn. We'll give you a third, and Daniel Jones.
if they can get J.C. Horn, that would be even better if they can get someone like him. But that's something they would do.
Because
Like
J.C. Horn hasn't looked that great this year either.
Yeah,
and they're in total rebuild mode. So you throw a third and maybe a fifth, a third, a fifth, and a player. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's
and
something
Jones
the
has
Giants
tried and tested. So
that's something they would do if their season, their season's like over. Trade deadline area. When you know what your record is, you're looking at it and you figure, oh, we're probably not going to be making it this year, right? But it's going to be tough. Like I think this week coming up versus the Browns is another test for the offensive line, because their front is good. The Browns' front is really good. I'm interested to see how the offensive line can do against them. And see how this offense can do, because you're going to need more out of the offense, obviously. Just give me like 21, 24 points a game. That's where you need to be. You need to be in that range to have chances to win these games. And the defense, I don't know what to expect from them, to be honest.
They have to get pressure, and they got to get pressure early. Like, Deshaun Watson needs to be on the ground.
Yeah, or confuse him
flat on
to
his
rush.
face.
Yep, to rush throws. Get sacks when you can. Make him get rid of the ball early. Make him run. Make him run. Because I know Watson has not played well. So that's the one thing. If you were going in versus a really good quarterback with a really hot hand, I'd really be more concerned. But like I said, they really need to get a win. It's a must-win game. You would have said the Washington game is, but you're 0-2 again. It's been like this for a multiple amount of seasons. You have to get a win this week. You have to. You go 0-3, like you're really in trouble. Not that 0-2 is any good either.
And 0-2 is kind of, you had 2 bad games. A lot of good teams still 0-2, but 0-3, considering 2 years ago you went 7-2 or 7-3 your first 10 games.
7-2, yeah, 7-3.
Coming out.
Mm-hmm. They played much more consistent football with no.
I don't think we did better. I don't think the only reason we didn't do any better is that we had that injury bug in the early November, kind of made us skid a few games. But yeah, 7-3 your first 10. You finish 10-6 or 10-7 or that year?
Yeah. What's up, Stacy? Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sorry.
At the end of it.
Sorry. I literally just got off of a work phone call.
That's all right.
How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just talking about this 0-2 start for the Giants.
Who knew the corner was that rough?
What are your thoughts?
3 touchdowns, no touchdowns, yet we still fucking lose the game. What the fuck?
We haven't been over. I think me and you said the same thing. Why didn't Gillian get in there and start,
That's what I'm saying. Put the fucking Scottish hammer in there.
The funniest thing is, I think the Giants are going to be the only team to get penalized for not reaching that zone, that landing zone for the kickoff. He didn't reach it on one kickoff. He didn't reach the landing zone. like past the 20. I wonder if we're gonna be the only team to get
And that
penalized
makes
for
me the
that
ball
this
in the
year.
40, don't it?
Yes.
It was sad.
Yeah, gave the ball on the 40-yard line. You know, the defense bent but didn't break, but man, not having a kicker and
That was the
Oh,
kicker, man.
God.
That was the and
You know what
Dabo
the
knew
killer
about
was?
it
Yeah.
before the fucking game even started. Like they
Yeah,
said,
like-
they already knew he was having a problem with his hamstring or something before
then
the
they
game
should've-
even started. He should have done
Groin.
something at that
Well,
point.
Shane should have done something too.
So-
I'm not
yeah,
going
somebody
to
should have
because
done something. I mean,
you know
it's
someone
a
should have been
kicker.
like, all right, because we didn't have him last year and it was killer. You know, there were games you may have possibly won if you had to know. You know, and that just it's just a really weird game. It's like if only the Giants will lose like that. You know,
Well,
like it's
yeah.
just. But another big thing in the last game was the fumble by Singletary. That was a huge turnover. I
No,
thought.
and then the drop by Malik, man, and
Yeah,
he
but
was the drop by Malik.
but who knows?
That
Maybe
was-
get a fourth touchdown if Singletary doesn't turn that ball
Right.
over.
Yeah. So
You know, I thought the offense moved the ball well, but the defense, especially at T times, there were 3 or 4 or 5 times where they had more than 3rd and 10, and they would get the first down. Like they gave up some long 3rd down conversions in the last
Right.
They
game.
gave
turn
up
my
a lot
light
of
on.
third down conversions, and they had no pressure.
No
Like,
push either. They
What are
got
we
pushed
paying
around
this
up
defensive
front.
line for? There's no pressure.
Well, part of it is
Like, you
Bowen.
guys should be eating right now. You guys should be devouring quarterbacks.
Yeah, part of it is Bowen not
Like,
putting
Kayvon's
it in the
getting
best
beat
position.
every time.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, you're getting
Like I
beat
said,
by the weaker tackle.
But like I said, you need more performance from the players. But I think Bowen needs to do a better job calling the defensive game as well. His defensive game plans, I think, need to be better. I don't like how soft they are. That's the one thing I notice from both games. You know, and someone like Watson, you know, the way their offensive line is not the best, you know, they should be able to get some pressure on them. And that's what you want to see. You want to see some pressure on Watson, you know, some 3 and outs, and, you know, consistently keep scoring touchdowns. That's the one
Yeah.
positive. They
Yeah.
score touchdowns at least. You know, lastly, not like the field goal. Good.
That was the most
Coming
touchdowns
up
we've
on this
scored all season.
game.
What?
So, Dan, what is your ceiling score for this game? Give me your ceiling, your
Ceiling,
your
24 points.
and then give me your basement. Huh?
For the Giants?
Or for both teams. Like we go and combine
Give me
the
your
score.
ceiling score of the game. Like what's the best score
10.
you can think of if we play our best?
If they play their best, I think they can get 24 points. Versus a good defense would be good.
What about the basement?
10. So I could see him getting a touchdown and a field goal.
What about you, Stacey?
I'd say I'd agree with Dan. 20, 24, 27 in that area. But I would think
They
that
are a
that
good
might
defense, for
be able
sure.
to. Oh, true.
I'm gonna take realization, probably the most realistic. I'm gonna go 23, 24-ish. Ceiling, if we play 27, 28,
Yeah, they played a great
basement-
game.
like 3. I think we've come out like we did the first week and we get to dominate it on both sides of the ball. I don't
know
see
if that's
them
gonna
getting in
happen.
the field goal range.
I think their offense will move the ball, but the defense is tough.
Well, no,
The
I don't
pass
think it's gonna
rush is
happen. I'm
tough.
just saying, like my lowest expectation of if they play bad is
Oh,
field
if they
goals.
played horrible, yeah. If they turn the ball over, yeah, pick 6, something like that happened, then that makes sense. But I don't see either team getting more than 24 points. to be honest. So I know the Browns' offense has not been good.
So, what's your realistic score for the game?
I don't know if the Giants are going to win this game. 24-17, 2017.
Yeah.
No, I
I'm
can
gonna
see
go
them losing a game like
28-17
that.
Browns.
You think so? You think they're going to score 20?
I'm
Yeah,
going to-
maybe. I'm going to say
No, I'm
24
saying
to 20.
28-17 Browns.
I know. I don't know if they're going to score. We'll see if they score 28, maybe. If their Giants defense plays soft, maybe they'll make it easy for Watson. They'll stand back there all day. It's definitely a possibility.
Listen, all I know is they played better, and I didn't watch week 2. So this week, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to keep track of the score.
I watched it.
And
That's,
they win,
I've
they
been
win.
I watch it on the NFL Red Zone. So we've watched all the games.
Yeah, well, one thing I
Chief
will
Rich.
say though, like so far this season, the biggest positive is probably the offensive line. That's probably the biggest positive.
It took 10 fucking years to get it fixed.
It's about time. Runyon's been playing well. Illuminar's been playing well. Van Roten's been playing well. The run blocking has been solid, especially last game. There's
Yeah,
a
Max is
pocket.
playing very well.
I think Singletary's played well. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry, which is solid, which you don't expect great from him, but he's been solid. I'd like to see him versus the Browns, see how they do, because I think they need to run the ball. I'd rather have them run the ball to set up the pass and the play action like they used to. Defensively, I like individual as a unit. I don't like the way that they're playing, but individually, I think that like a Newman Phillips is playing well, Banks is playing well, Dex is playing well. I think Okereke is playing fine. Go ahead.
Another thing is they have to hold on to the ball longer. They cannot give the opponent 40 minutes with the ball.
Oh,
like they had the ball for 2 quarters. You know, so like you have to have the ball longer. Like spread your plays out more. Like 11, 12 play drives, 8 to 10 play drives. Use that clock.
Yeah, the first drive, the Washington first drive was like 10 minutes. Almost.
For a field goal.
Yeah.
Like I said, at least the Giants' red zone defense was good, but you're playing Washington. Washington's not prolific. They have a rookie quarterback, but still, if they could just have a kicker or a punter that can kick, maybe they would have won this game. This is one of the games that's winnable for the Giants.
Those 3 points, we would have won.
Yep. And I thought that this was going to be one of the wins for the Giants, to be honest. I thought they played well versus Washington, and
most of us
didn't happen.
Congratulations, Steve. You're out there.
But like I said, we'll have to see if they're going to win versus the Browns, versus a good defense. I think matchup-wise, you want get your pass rush going versus their offense, and but I still need to see more from the offense.
Yeah, we can't go 0-3, man.
I do love the way Neighbors is playing though. Malik Neighbors is the real deal.
He is.
He has been.
He really is. Although he's beating himself up over that.
Oh, he was pissed. He was mad. He was
Dude,
pissed.
It was right in his hands.
Like I saw his face, and he was
that's the only thing I can say.
So mad.
That's the only thing I can say about the team is that they all look pissed off because they know they should have won this game. They should have won against Washington, and hopefully, like I said, this is the bonding moment they all needed. Light that fucking fire under this team.
Well, let's put up or shut up time. Let's see what
they
got.
Started, Get them on a warpath. Like, if I was Dayball, I'm like, I'm going to put up on a chalkboard or whiteboard. This is the warpath. Like, this is like military drill. Like, this is how we're going to run it. Like, blitzkrieg. We need to get through the defense. You are going to be a fucking machine. I'm talking about, like, I don't care. Play dirty. What now is considered dirty. You hit
Stick a finger up somebody's butthole. We've seen that happen before. That's a good tactic, though. That'll catch you off guard, man. That'll catch you off
That's just
guard.
foul. You're taking the Romanowski school of fucking playing dirt. We ain't doing all that here.
Yeah, but
We're
but
not
as
the
a
Cowboys.
but as a team,
They sticking up each other's buttholes.
yeah, yeah, but
Go ahead, Dan.
God, yeah, you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry. Derailed.
It's not my fault.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, now I totally forgot what I was gonna say. It's very distracting.
It is. It's what I said. It'll catch you off guard. You don't know what to
But-
do after that.
No, Stacy. All right, Stacy, you're suspended for a week. You're suspended. I can't. That's too much. Too much.
Banned.
Yeah, yeah.
Banned for a week. I'm gonna have to
Well,
go
like I
talk
said,
to the Asian persuasion because of that.
Yeah, let's see if they could get a win.
And that-
versus the
because
Browns.
he's HR, right?
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, let's hope we're 1-2 at the end of by Sunday night, by the end of the game on Sunday. The Browns are definitely a beatable team, I think. Their defenses look one of the best in the NFL, though, and I'm interested to see how the team responds
That's
after last week.
before the season started. I would have said this is a loss. I didn't think this was a winnable game.
I think
This
it's
is a winnable game.
I think it's winnable because their offense is not
Yeah.
prolific. You know, it's but how's your offense going to do versus their defense? I think is the
Yeah,
big key for
Deshaun-
the Giants.
Deshaun has definitely gone downhill. Like I think he would. I think
Well,
he
there's
played
a
a
lot of
lot
things that
better
came
when he
out,
was
too.
with the Texans.
What are you saying?
Well,
Evan?
that's because the Texans ran a Clemson offense because he couldn't learn the playbook. That we didn't know that at first. Now we're finding out. Bill O'Brien had to say, he was like, I had to dumb down the offense to Clemson's for him to be able to play.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, like we'll see how
So-
Watson plays, but
I don't know.
not
Maybe
getting not getting any pressure like the Giants have not been is not going to be the answer. That's going to get him in rhythm or something like that. And you don't want to let Watson sit back there. You want to go after him and get pressure on him. And Bowen doesn't blitz a lot. You know that. So I think he needs to call a better game, regardless even if they're playing the Browns. And no matter who you're playing, you're still playing in the NFL. And I'd like to see a better game plan from him and a good game plan from Dable offensively. I thought it was a little better week 2. Week 1 was abysmal. I'd rather just forget about that.
Good Lord, that was bad.
Week 2 was a better going, I think.
All right.
Well, it was definitely better. The
So,
Cowgirls
final
lost.
predictions.
So. And the
My
Eagles.
final predictions are going to be 28-17 Browns. I think Danny has 2 touchdowns, both to Malik Neighbors. But I think he throws 3 picks.
I'm going to say 2017 Giants.
Damn it, Dan. That's literally exactly what I was going to say. So now I'm going to say 21-17
I
Giants.
think they're going to miss an extra point.
Listen. Stacy. This isn't, that answer's off the board. I can't say it. You can back Dan up and say I agree with that.
It's off the board. I can't. It's off the board. Pick a different number.
I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us this week. I'm so sad we missed you last week, but today we made up for it. I'm so glad to see you. I can't wait for next week, hopefully with some great news. But until then, go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. It's something you got to win this
go.
I'm
week.
Evan.
Go Giants.
Peace.
Take care, everybody.